streaming on Facebook and 5 other networks. So let's see where we're at, my friend.
I need two of those. I need two monitors like that, man.
Actually, I got 3 monitors, brothers. What you talking about?
Man, see, I'm way behind. I'm strictly the laptop.
Yeah, brother. This brother here got 3 monitors. My boy hooked me up. I got a guy who was really heavy into computers. I had him set everything up for me.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, welcome everybody. This is Charles Blair, the mad scientist. And right now we are live in effect in the lab. Can you hear me, Malik?
Two.
So hold on a second. Let me turn some sound off. Live in effect in the lab. Can you hear me, Malik? So hold on. Okay, we should be good to go. Talk to me, brother.
How you doing today, Charles?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. I want to welcome each and every one of you guys who are out there listening to this edition of Duru interviews. I have my man Malik Jenkins from Jersey in the house.
And
Now,
if you're on Instagram and the rest of them, heart it up.
exactly. Now, let me tell you a reason why I wanted to bring Duru interviews to the general public. This is actually our first broadcast, and what's going to happen in Duru interviews, I'm going to be interviewing people that I call Durus. We're not talking about any goddamn gurus here. We're talking about Durus, people who are doing the business of real estate investing and can equally speak on the subject of real estate investing. And that's what we have here. Introduce yourself, Malik, let everybody know who you are.
I am the one and only Brick City's finest, New Jersey. Uh, Coming from Jersey, just a local real estate investor, man, trying to make my way out here.
Now, to give you guys a little bit of background, I met Malik probably about 2 years ago. Malik is actually a member of my mastermind program. Maybe is it 2 years or 3 years, Malik?
It's been about three, almost four.
Golly, time flies, man. So it's been about 3 years that I've known Malik. And this guy is really. Hold on a second, Malik. Let me turn this. Actually, we got a little issue with the sound.
Okay.
Is it 2 years or 3 years, Malik?
It's been about three, almost four.
Golly, time flies, man. So it's been about 3 years that I've known Malik. And this guy is really. Hold on a second, Malik. Let me turn this. Actually, we got a little issue with the sound. There we go. Now, Tavis, thank you for being on the broadcast. Steven, thank you for being on the broadcast. Tony Green, thank you, my brother, for being on the broadcast. Minion, as always, thank you for being on the broadcast. Like I mentioned, what we're talking about today has everything to do with individuals that's in the business, doing the business, that's basically going to share their knowledge. And I wanted to get this brother on the broadcast for a very good reason. And here's the reason why. This guy has been through ups and downs, and now he's in one of the high periods. And I wanted him to share that with you. First and foremost, let everybody know, Malik, exactly where you're investing at, what part of the country you're in, and so on.
I'm in central North Jersey. That's where I do predominantly most of my investing. But soon I look to be, doing a little bit of virtual investing outside, possibly the Maryland, Baltimore area, as well as Charlotte, North Carolina. But right now, I'm just still trying to streamline things in my own backyard.
Got you. So anybody that's out there, if you guys can hear us, let me make sure we got a good sound check going on. Heart it up, like it up in the comment section. Just let us know that you can hear us loud and clear. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, for all my listeners out there on YouTube, let me know if you guys can hear us loud and clear. We just want to make sure we got good sound because this is going to be an interview you will not want to miss. Trust me on that one. Okay, got it. You can hear me. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, looking good. Sounds good, says Travis. Steve, can you hear me? Let me know, my friend. Minion, if you can hear us. Let me see. Hit that stat. Hit that. I can hear you, Charles. All that good stuff. Okay, guys. Thank you. Now, Malik, give people an actual little bit about how you got started in real estate investing, how long you've been doing the business, and so
Um, well, I got started in real estate roughly around 2005. In 2004, I was just trying to find my way, meaning I was still researching and
Mm-hmm.
learning about the business. 2005, I kind of just jumped off the diving board, which I probably shouldn't have, but with a partner, and we did one deal, and then we picked up another two. The other two were disasters, but that one deal just solidified that everything in real estate that I've read about works.
Okay,
You know,
so you started. What were you guys doing at that time? What type of investing were you doing?
actually, we were just trying to get into it. Whether it was rehabbing or buying whole, that's what we were looking to do. Um, I didn't really know so much about the wholesaling part until I signed up to a local RIA that's no longer in existence here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but once we did the one deal where we did a actually like a minor rehab, we bought a two family house in East Orange on Sunnyside Terrace for 221,000. We put roughly, I want to say maybe another 20,000 into it,
Mm-hmm.
um, and we sold it for 275 to a couple from Brooklyn, New York. So to make like about, I think when it was all said and done, we netted almost 30,000. It was a 28,000 and some change check. I was sold.
So
I
that was your
mean,
that was your first payday in the business.
that was my first payday.
thirty
I
thousand.
was sold. 30,000. Well, 28 to be exact. After everything came out, it was 28. That check was 28,000. Me and my friend split. A good friend of mine actually is my son's godfather. So, you know,
I'm gonna tell
and we
you,
went on.
you was
Uh,
very fortunate, my brother, because my first check in the business was $2,500, and it took me a year to make that. So, how long in the business did it take you to make that $28,000, $30,000?
literally 5 months.
You got
Literally 5 months.
you gotta love real estate, don't you, man?
Sure enough, do. And this was while I was working at the post office, and my friend was at the he was a manager for Verizon.
And that
So
was, and you said that was 2005.
that was 2005.
So you was holding down a full time job,
Right.
working
Coaching baseball as well.
coaching baseball, working for the man, working for the post office,
Right.
delivering that mail.
Yep.
So
The rain slow sneed to hell.
So I take it while you was delivering that mail, you was also looking for opportunities. So
Always.
what piqued that interest? What made you say you want to get into it? That's what I want to hear.
Well, actually, growing up, I always had like a little business entrepreneur side of me. I tapped into it earlier with my cousin. Um, I used to go over my aunt's house, which is my mother's brother. My brother's, my father's sister.
Hmm.
And I would go over there. They lived in the next town over, which was Irvington, New Jersey. So I would go over there on the weekends, man. My mother give me like $5 or $10, and me and him, we'd plan our weekend out. His mother used to work for a company, and she used to bring home a whole bunch of pins. So my $5 and his couple of $5 or $10, that was the basis of the start for the weekend. That paid for us to have go skating on Friday, go to the movies on Sunday, hang out on Saturday. So then we sold pins. We would go door to door from his block all the way around the corner. We were selling like pins for like 50 cents. At the end of the day, we used to go on Sundays was really the main play because we can go to the this movie theater called the Castle, and we could watch all the movies for $4, man. So
Wow.
yeah, all
So
the good movies that came out. You remember the movie Posse, right?
of course.
Yeah, them type of movies back then that came out. Boys in the Hood, all that stuff. So
Now, now,
um,
now from that. So you say from the beginning you had that entrepreneurial spirit. You already was sold that you did not want to be an employee. You want to be a person that hired employees.
right, right. And at that time though, I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I just know I always used to say I'm being business for myself. I
Gotcha.
always knew that. Always knew that. I just didn't know what it was going to be, what the vehicle was going to be. I just knew it though. And
So
then honestly, as I used to get in trouble, My mother used to say, you got a hard head. You don't like to listen to nobody. I said, that's probably why I'm different.
You know what they say? A hard head make a soft ass. You know that one.
Absolutely. I've always heard that my whole life.
Exactly. Exactly.
And trust me, the belt always proved it right.
So give me a sense. I know you talked about the entrepreneurial spirit. What made you say real estate was the vehicle? What took you from having that spirit but saying or choosing real estate as the way to do it?
Well, what happened was even at a younger age, like around I say my early 20s, before my son came, I was still trying to figure it out. Like I even had a little painting business because my cousin used to he worked for the hospital here, and then he had a painting business on the side. So I learned a lot as far as painting wise. And then when I wasn't working with him, and I couldn't get into the painters union, um, I just wound up. I said, look, I know enough. I can do it on my own. So I tried that business. I made some money, but I was like, it's too laborious as far as it's too much time and not enough money. And then like I said, I always used to see abandoned apartment buildings and stuff like that. And once I started reading books, just to introduce myself, um, I was like, this is where it's at. So what happened was, I got I got laid off from a job and was on unemployment, and that right there made my final decision of, what, I'm gonna just go all in, learn all I need to learn about real estate, and then I'm gonna take it from there.
Okay. Okay.
All this is going on at the same time. My son is just born. This is like 2000.
So you had a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah. Because I'm on unemployment, and back then this one unemployment would last you at least a year though. Not the 6 month stuff they did.
Right.
Um, but I just made it my business to say, what, here's a chance to really, find out who I am, where I want to be, and then I was looking at the future of what do I want to be able to do and provide for my son.
Right.
That was that was the actual extra fire that was lit. You know what I mean? How am I going to take care of him? How am I going to provide us a decent lifestyle? And that just set it off through all the trials and tribulations through that time though. I remain humble, remain focused, and like I said, I would still go out to in 2004 I went to, they had the investor summits,
Mm-hmm.
like expo, and the lady Vina Jones Cox was put that on.
Vena's still out there today.
Yeah. I actually reach out to her every now and then. I like her. She knows a lot, very
Mm-hmm.
knowledgeable, and she's good as well. So but yeah, they had the summit. I mean, she was there. Donna Bauer was there. Kathy
Mm-hmm.
Kennebrook was there. Like a lot of the big big people who've been in the business for a long time, 20 plus years were there
Right.
at that time. I actually even met a guy by the name of Wesley Barney, um, out of New York, Queens, New York, who was doing tax liens, and that was kind of like really scratching my itch, so to speak. When I
Okay.
was just getting my feet wet. And I went out there. I signed up actually to go out to Kansas City, Missouri. Because he held a live workshop out there for buying tax liens and tax deeds out
Mm-hmm.
there. And I seen how they did it on the steps, and he took us to a bid, and I was out there bidding. I had seen that one property. They like $1. I'm like two. They like $2. I'm like three. You're like, wait, no, stop. I was, I was just like, listen, man. Well, they bidding dollars, so I'm bidding $2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But but I realized that after it was all said and done, you had to have some money behind you to really play in the tax lien, tax deed, game. So I said, I can't get in that right now.
Okay.
So
So
as time goes on, I wind up finding everybody was doing foreclosures, and I was like, man, how can I compete with getting in the game doing foreclosure when I already know what my situation is. You know what I mean?
right.
I got just enough money to survive. This is before I get the job at the post office, though. I got
Okay.
just enough money to survive, but I want to get in, but I really can't compete because that's where everybody is swimming in that pond.
Okay. So let's
So,
fast forward a little bit. Let's go
right,
to the point where it was 2005. And then you and I connected in, I think it was 2014.
right.
What was going on at that point in time that said, okay, I need to connect with a mentor? What was going on at that point in time that brought you in my sphere?
I was at that time. I had bought a course on probates.
Mm-hmm.
So I started learning the probate process. So I would go to the courthouse on my day off, right after I dropped my son off to school,
Right.
and then I come back and I'm like, I'm really gonna see if this works. I sent out my first 50 letters, I get 3 calls back. I'm like, okay, it works. The first guy curses me out, calls me an ambulance, thinks, you know, find another way to make a living, this and that. I'm like, I apologize to him, whatever, and then that was that. But the next 2 people, they thanked me for the letter that I sent them. You know what I mean? I almost got one deal. The other one, the person had listed it with a realtor right as we was setting up the appointment, the wife. So that didn't pan out. And then the other one, my offer was too low, so he
Mm-hmm.
didn't accept it. But I had done a couple deals, and then I was trying to be more consistent
Gotcha.
and understand, how to really get your marketing in place.
Mm-hmm.
So when I stumbled across you and your videos, I was watching it and I'm like, okay, this is somebody who's not that far from me. Sounds like he has his pulse on what's going on, technology, the marketing, and everything. Then not only that, you're black. That's another one. Number two is, I felt like I could connect and relate to you. It didn't feel like you was just, shooting from the hip, just
Mm-hmm.
trying to sell stuff. It seemed like you was really sincere and trying to help those who wanted to help and would reach out. So, I wound up having a cousin that lived down in Baltimore. I mean, in D.C.
Okay.
So I kind of I persuaded my brother. I said, look, because we was already going down there. I said, look, but while we go down and visit my cousin for the weekend, I said, listen, I want to stop at this meeting, man. They got this meeting. You know what I mean? I said, y'all can drop me off and then come back and get me.
Right.
Like, all right, so it's myself, my cousin, and my brother. So I drove down. They dropped me off and did what they did, and then that's when I was at the meeting with you, and I sat in, and that's when I was like, oh man, mind blown. You know what I mean? The information is on point. Um, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the person I need to be learning for that can help me, take my business to the next level.
Okay.
You know,
Now I
and
want
that's
to
how come I stayed afterwards and was talking to you.
got you. Now I want to continue to thank those of you guys who are still on board watching Duru interviews. This is an actual podcast I'm doing with individuals that are actually doing the business of real estate investing and not just selling something. These are individuals that know what they're talking about and doing the business of real estate investing. So Pablo, welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. Jeffrey, thank you for tuning in. Craig, thank you, my friend. Jason, thank you for being on the broadcast. Tavis, Steve, a whole host of you guys, all the individuals that's on YouTube, Twitch, and all the other social network stations. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being on the broadcast. Let's continue down the path of your success, Malik, because you brought up a lot of different things earlier. Give me a sense of the mindset, because I know having an entrepreneurial spirit is one thing. You've been in the game now from a point of from 2005 and here we at 2019. How have you been able to stick with that mindset of real estate is going to be the vehicle for me?
Well, for what it was at the post office. One time I got into it with my supervisor. He called himself trying to address me on the floor, so I had to address him as a man, right on the floor as well. You know, and after I had that we had that confrontation on the floor, I had to let him, I sat in the car on my way home and I said, you know what? I've been saying I'm gonna put more time and energy into my business. You know what I mean? There's no other time to do it now. If I don't do it now, then I'm never going to do it. I'm gonna always just say, okay, yeah, I'm doing it, but I'm in it half-heartedly. And I had that discussion. Like I said, I had that conversation with him, and when I came home, I just sat and thought about everything, man. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm not I'm not gonna keep doing this. I said I was because I had gave myself already when I signed up to work for the post. I said in 7 years I wanted to be out of there. Mind you, 5 years already had went by. I got the job in 2003. You know what I mean? So at this time I had got hurt on the job, and like I said, after that I had that conversation, and once I thought about it all, I said to myself, all right, you either gonna do this or it's gonna be a hobby. Which one is it? Because I sit in the car sometime and I just have pep talks with myself, or I'm
Oh,
in the bathroom and
you do that
oh
too?
yeah, I do that. I still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Even in the bathroom sometimes, like early in the morning, I have a pep talk and I'm talking to myself. You know what I mean? Um, so I made the decision. It was just like, listen, I'm either gonna make this work or I'm not. I'm either gonna do it for real or it's just gonna be a hobby. And then I was like, the time and the energy that I put into giving them 8 hours and overtime, I need to be putting that time into myself. Stop working the overtime, and that overtime I can just put it into myself and my business. And that's what I did. Plus, I was calculating every time I worked overtime, worked more than 30 hours overtime, I was pretty much working for free for the government. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So I was like, listen, I'm not working over 10 hours overtime. And then after that, I just cut it all out. I just
Gotcha.
cut it all out, you know.
Okay.
And then I start putting more time into, going to the courthouse, getting the leads. But what I noticed that I only had one lead source, which was the probates.
Right.
So I was on this roller coaster ride, and it was starting to wear me down. And I'm like, man, a lot of people in my local market is having success. So what am I doing wrong? Not I'm not trying to justify like trying to keep up with them. I'm just wondering where to figure out what are my road bumps, in this journey. So I was trying to just figure things out. I know it works because I'm doing deals.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm just doing them consistently.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't have the marketing dialed in.
Okay.
At that time, it was like, okay, the marketing is key. You got to keep your marketing going. All right, how
Absolutely.
do you budget for it? So these were the things that I was struggling with.
Okay.
You know,
So
um, and
let.
then and then at that time, that's right around that when Podio started coming into play.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Freedom Soft, those were the only two I think at that time. Freedom
Oh,
Soft and
okay. Let's
Podio.
take this to the continuing where you at right now. Your
Okay,
first deal you did, it was a $28,000 to $30,000 payday. Now you're
right.
in 2014, 2015. We started working together. What was some of the things that really resonated with you that really that was missing on those earlier years that you discovered in the latter years?
You had that system dialed in. You had the different niche lists. The levels of what to pull. In order to get that market, and then how to budget. How to take a $500 budget and make it work for you. And as well as the technology, but the technology part was just like, I'm still not there yet. Technology just ain't my thing. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get with it, but I can't, Charles. I know what I can do right now. This is what I can do right now.
Right.
Technology, I can figure it out. Um, and then as that allowed me to kind of like dial in and bring on like the absentees and niche it down, drill it
Right.
down a few levels, you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
then you kept harping on me like, listen, you got to get more than one lead generation going on, because that's the only way that your business is going to kind of pick up the pace and you can get off that ride. And I still struggled for a while, even though we had those conversations,
Mm-hmm.
just because I was dealing with a lot on the personal side, so even when we had the mastermind meetings and I would close a deal, you guys are like, oh man, you closed a what check? I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand. I'm not seeing all that. And then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, I didn't understand at first that, when you close a wholesale deal and you make 20,000 or 18 grand, that's not all profit.
Right.
And it really didn't dawn and sink in until I read that book Profit First that I mentioned at the
Hmm.
meetup that I was at, when I was on the panel. That has really hit home as to, okay, now I understand how a business really thrives and how it grows. You know what I mean? And I'm always learning, always looking to learn, as you know. Um,
Yes.
I believe in I believe in always, if you're in this business, you can never stop learning because it's forever changing.
And that's
You
why,
know,
that's why I always say, I will always be green, because when you're green, you grow. When you're ripe, you rot. So
you're right.
people knock themselves down and they always call themselves green. I'm green. I've been in for 30 years. I'm still green. You just brought up a
Right.
very key point, and that is that time, because I'll give you an example. I have people talking about, well, I did this wholesale deal and I made $15,000. But what they neglect to tell you is it took them 2 months of working 8 hours before they made $15,000. Now, that's still good money. Just
Right.
think about it. 2, 3 months to make $15,000. That's $5,000 a month. A lot of people barely making $2,000 a month.
I was
So
just about to say.
exactly. So it's still good money. But you have to look at the reality of this business and know your numbers. But most importantly, and you said this a few seconds ago, know the value of your time. Because that's
Absolutely.
something you can't get back.
Absolutely. I get people now that, they come to me, they want me to kind of like coach them and this and that. But
Mm-hmm.
I ask, my first question is, are you going to commit to you?
Right.
Because if you're not going to commit to you, I really don't want to help you.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're not going to commit to you in this process, the first thing you're going to do is blame me, but you neglected yourself. You know what I mean? Like ET says in one of his videos, you owe you. You know what I mean? So, it starts with the person, the individual first. You know
Right.
what I mean? You got to want this, and that's
Exactly.
how it's like anything else. If this is your passion or this is something you're really interested in, you got to be willing to put in the time, the energy, even when it gets rough. Because those rough patches is what's going to determine whether you stay or you go.
Okay. You're
Me
in it, right?
personally,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I never wanted to get a part time job where I'm being W-2 on both. You know what I mean? So real estate was it. I always said I had to make as much as I make on my first job, if not more. Real estate was the key.
What made you, because you just made another great point, the full time mentality. Knowing
Right.
that this is something that you're doing full time, currently, how many hours a day are you working in your business as a full time real estate entrepreneur? How many hours you're working right now?
Some days I some days I work a full 8 hours. Some days I might only do five.
Okay.
And then some days I'm just all in from the time I wake up till it's time for me to go to sleep. I mean, but I love what I do, so I probably put at least about 30 hours a week. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Now here's the good part is you're putting 30 hours, real hours, right? Because when you're doing the
Right.
real estate investing, nothing is distracting you. You're
No,
doing
no,
that
no.
business.
Yeah, that's whether I'm on appointments, taking calls,
Mm-hmm.
out at meetups, connecting. Even trying to meet with some local investors to do things here as well. So yeah, that's putting in the time, man.
That's not bad,
So,
man. 30 hours a week doing the business, full time investing. How did you know it was time for you to stop doing what you was doing and taking this full time? Did you decide it was money that you was making? Did you decide it wasn't worth trying to do the job? What made you decide to go full time?
well, to me, delivering mail was always easy. It was just boring. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? It's you walking. I mean, I liked it being outside and I didn't have a supervisor or manager on me. And I took care of my customers. Occasionally you get the few, as they say, jackasses, but you know, overall my customer base was good. I just I just wanted more, man. I used to look at a lot of the workers. They be out on hernias, still haven't healed. They come back to work. You know what I mean? I'm like, I refuse to live paycheck to paycheck for the rest of my life. You know, and then as well as I had an on-the-job injury in 2009, and then when I had got shipped from my original office to Maplewood office, New Jersey, you know, I was having still the same pain in my thigh, my hip area, so I had to figure that out. But at the same time, though, that's right around the time I was on board with you and the mastermind, but I was
Mm-hmm.
also had deals in the pipelines that were short sales, you know, and so we were rolling, me and this one guy that I was dealing with at the time. He would find private money. I was finding the deals and the buyers for him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so that is just everything was seeming to align. And then when I went to the doctor and he was telling me that, you know, because I asked him, I said, honestly, doc, if I keep doing this job, you know, is the condition gonna get worse or will I be all right? He was like, well, honestly, because of the element you in, and then you up and down the stairs and carrying sometimes a lot of heavy things, it's only going to wear it out worse, you know. And so I was just like, all right, I know what to do here. I'm going to put in for disability early retirement. And then at that time, you know, between you and then what I had going on already with you know, doing some shorts and regular wholesales, you know, everything business, the market was upticking, you know, from
Mm-hmm.
the actual downturn. So everything was pretty much aligning itself. And I just said, look, man, you know, once they approved me, I'm like, well, I'll get that little bit of paycheck that they send every month, but I can do this full time.
Got you.
And even with that, it still allows me, if I wanted to, I can go get another job and still keep my benefits. I just can't make over a certain amount of money with the post office.
Got you.
You know, so
So we
you
got
know,
for all you guys that on the broadcast right now. If you have any questions for Malik, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. Malik, I'm gonna continue down this path to where we are right now. What are some of the strategies right now that you're executing that you're seeing results from doing real estate investing?
well, I'm still doing probates.
Okay.
I've dialed that in a little bit more consistent, but like we talked earlier, you know, it's just the point of I have to find a way to get someone else now to go to the courthouse for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've actually tried out a company, and you know, I've gotten a deal or two off of it. You know, I've also did some absentee, um, unknown equity
Mm-hmm.
type of lead source that has bought me as well some deals. You know, I'm actually been on a couple of appointments from those too. And then I'm trying to dial in my third lead source. I haven't yet decided whether it's going to be bankruptcy or, you know, another lead source, but something that most people won't do. I've never been the one who wants to go with the masses,
Gotcha.
even as a person.
Right.
You know, I've had times where friends want me to go out and hang with them. I don't feel like I don't go. They respect it though. You know what I mean? And I'm the same thing when it comes to business. I don't really want to be where everybody else is. I want to fish where it's very little to no other people are at that lake or that ocean or that pond. You
Right.
know what I mean? And that's just always been me. I'm a mix, man. I'm an introvert slash extrovert. You know.
Got you. And
Um,
you're right now, 2019, 2018. You are really in your own, for lack of a better word, you're in your own mind right now, because
absolutely.
you have already established yourself as to where and which direction you know what's working. What has
Right.
2019 brought to you? What's currently going on with you right now over the last few? I mean, in fact, give us the last. This is what, June. The last 4 or 5 months. How many deals have you closed so far?
I have closed three deals, and I am working on a couple more. As you know, I actually have an offer to make on. I, I have two or three offers I need to be making today, actually,
Mm-hmm.
on some properties I just looked at over the week. So things are keeping consistent, man. I just mailed out roughly about 5,000 pieces between four different leads: driving
Mm-hmm.
for dollars, vacant,
Mm-hmm.
unknown equity, and probate.
So those are 4 strategies: driving for dollars, vacant, unknown equity, and probate. 4 different marketing strategies. You just closed a few deals over the last couple of months now. Give us a
Right.
couple. Give us a little bit of. You ain't got to go into exact address, but give us a couple of the lead sources, the actual deals you closed, the profit you made on them.
Um, well, the latest one I closed, which was 24,000, was actually a little more than 24, but I had an investor partner who had a cash buyer who just wanted this property in
Got you.
Cranford, New Jersey. So, I let him eat off the bone. It was enough meat on there. I had it at 330. I got it. It was a probate deal.
Mm-hmm.
I started the campaign back in, I want to say, back in like early December.
Okay.
Um, and the call came in roughly like a week before Christmas, and I wound up getting the deal. Came out, seen the property. The executor of the estate lived in New York, actually. So I made the offer after talking to my realtor friend to help me kind of really dial in, because that area, those are high price homes. You know what I mean? Like literally, if I were to rehab that house and put 80 to 100,000, I could have sold it for like 575, 600, and I got the property for 336.
Ooh.
Yeah, and when I even and when I wholesaled it, I wholesaled it at 365.
Mm-hmm.
So I made good money. When it was all net to me, it was 24 grand in my pocket, so which was cool.
So that's
You know,
24 grand worth. 24 grand you net on that deal, and that was a deal that you worked. How many hours? Give me I know it's going to be hard to say how many hours it took, but how many hours you think you put into that deal?
I really didn't put much on, and I say that because I got the list from the company. What is that? All the leads,
Mm-hmm.
and so that $1,400 investment, my return was 24,000.
Now think about that, guys. Think about what he just said. A lot of you are getting antsy over, should I be spending X amount of dollars for marketing? Now that $1,400 investment, that was $1,400 over months. Was that all at one time, or was that over several months?
Well, I put that. It was because what they do is they have it where you have to buy in
Mm-hmm.
to their monthly membership,
Right.
and then you pay for the leads as well. But the monthly membership is just that one time fee, setup fee, and
Mm-hmm.
all that, which is like five. I think like five and some change.
Mm-hmm.
And the leads, their leads are expensive, but they work.
So the return was there. You spent $1,400. You made 24,000. Now, was it
Right.
only just one deal from that lead source, or was it multiple deals?
I actually have I have another probate lead come in just yesterday.
Okay.
So I've been consistently mailing these people, um, and I've started to cold call them. So this guy responded to a letter. He kept the letter, and he just now picking up the phone calling me.
That's
But this is another probate deal.
Think about that. What you just told me. How long did he actually save that letter? Do you remember from when you mailed it to when he called you?
He had to get at least 2 or 3 letters from me
Mm-hmm.
between December and up until now.
Got you.
So at least I'm gonna say he has at least 2 or 3 letters from me, and he's just now calling me. But he told me he had just put it on the market in January, and I guess he gave the realtor 6 months, and she hasn't sold it. So
Okay.
he's reaching out to me.
So what do you recommend for people who say, okay, direct mail is dead? You can't get deals from doing direct mail. What would you say to that?
I believe it still works, and I say that because my deals really have come off of postcards and mailing the letters versus the cold calling, even though I just started cold calling.
Right.
But I'm getting close to a couple of deals in cold calling, though.
Okay.
But right now, I'm like, man, if I can do both, I'm going to do both.
I know if you can. I'm already telling you, you better be doing both. So It's a combination of both of them work. Now it's just a matter of measuring the actual temperature in regards to when what should go out and what should go out. So that's the key. You're in a zone right now. You closed the deal to May 24 on that one. Another one you made, another few thousand on that one. I mean, we've talked
Yeah,
about
that
the.
was the $18,000 I made
Oh
on
my.
that one, and that was from the unknown equity.
Now I love that list source. Now listen to that list source again, guys. What's that list source called?
Unknown equity.
And tell them all about that list source. You ain't got to give them the details of where you got it from, but tell them all about that list source.
Well, you know how most people they say, okay, I want people who own properties that might have 40 to 70% equity in the property.
Mm-hmm.
This is just, you don't know how much equity is in there, but those are the people that really fly under the radar.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? A lot of people don't really market to them. So once I learned and figured that out, how to, learn how to pull it in, and I've been putting that into play. And actually, the offer that I have to make on today with a seller is an unknown equity deal. He owns the house free and clear, first of all. You know what I mean? So again, thanks to you, I'll be able to offer more than one offer.
Right. We're talking about being a transaction engineer now.
Then I also have another estate deal that's supposed to close tomorrow. That's going to net like 17.5. And that's a split between me and one of my partners. We got it for 175, and we're selling it to a cash buyer of ours for 210. So that's 35,000.
And you said that one's gonna close tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So you're gonna. Okay, so on that one, you're splitting 17.5, or the split is 17.5.
35,000.
Nice.
So we're gonna get 17.5 a piece.
Nice.
and when it comes to this split stuff, I tell people, I say, listen, a lot of times, even if someone says they have a buyer, I always tell them, look, this is my number. Anything over that, whatever your buyer buys it for, so be it. That's just money in your pocket. I don't count your money. You're not going to count mine.
Right.
And if I felt like, where the number is at, I don't need you to add on to it, then I'll say, yeah, we'll split. We'll do this one as a split. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for the most part, I'm at a number that makes sense or close to the number that I need to hit. And then anything over that. So like the Cranford one, my guy made 10 grand. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I still made 24. So I'm not mad at him, So I that's just how I do it though. I don't, everybody says JV, but JV, a lot of people think, oh, they don't really do a lot of the work and then they want half the deal. No, I still put in all the time, effort to get the deal, put it under contract and everything else.
Right.
So that's just how I operate anyway.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And I think it's still fair because, once I work with somebody for the first time and they make money, they always come back and say, you got anything else? I got another buyer. My buyer's looking for this, or one of my other buyers is looking for this. So, I believe there's enough money in this business for everybody. Just don't count my pockets because I'm not counting yours.
Exactly.
I'm not mad that you made 10,000 more, on a deal that I had.
Okay. So let's break this down. $18,000 payday, $17,000 payday, $24,000 payday. You're just basically crushing it, and you've got about 4 or 5 strategies going in regards to absentee owners, inheritance, driving for dollars, and so on. What is it that you can say is keeping all this together? Do you have systems or tools that you're working with that you say, hey, these are really helping my business?
Well, yeah, the last deal, when I closed the second deal, with the 24,000, I bought my son a car, and the rest of the money I split it up, so I have enough marketing for the next 3 months, 3 to 4 months.
And what does that marketing budget look like per month?
Well, right now I'm just cold calling, so I'm probably spending, let's see, my VAs. I have 2 part-time VAs, so I'm spending like 160
Mm-hmm.
on the VAs a month. Hall rail is costing me $30 a month.
Okay.
Investor Fuse was Investor Fuse 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
I bought that, but I paid it up front.
Okay.
But I think it might be like I want to say maybe two something a month. Oh, it depends. I forgot what it was,
Got
but
it.
um, and that's really all my. Oh, I do have I have that REI rail that I'm about to try to work out. Well, not try, but put into play. The
Okay.
ringless. No, that cost me $97
Got you.
a month.
So those are the main four tools that you're using. You got a good marketing plan going on. You say you got two VAs working with right now.
Right. I have one that calls in the morning for me between uh 10 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 hours, and then the other one comes on at 2 to 6.
Got you. Now,
You know,
I know we had a discussion about that. My
right,
recommendation was to move that two person to 6 to 4 to 8. So we had a
right.
discussion about that one. I think you're going to get better conversion that way. So I think moving forward, you're going to be doing a combination of direct mail along with a combination of cold calling. Are you going to be using any type of dialing systems for your cold calling, or are they going to be basically
Oh
using
yeah, you're
call
right.
rail?
I use Mojo Dialer too,
Are you
but I
using?
only have the single dialer.
I'm about to ask you, is it the single
Yeah, I
dialer
only
or
have the
triple
single
line?
dialer. Single dialer has been working fine.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with
Absolutely. The single dialer dials somewhere around 100 calls per hour. So ain't nothing wrong with that.
you. Right, right.
So you got
Yeah,
you got multiple lists going on. You got multiple strategies going on. What's next? What does the next 6 months look like in your business? Are you going to be adding more tools, more team members? What does your business look like in the next 6 months?
really just refining the systems really that I'm already currently have in place as
Mm-hmm.
far as the VAs and I know I'm going to bring on somebody to go to the courthouse so I don't have to continuously pay for the probate leads. But just dial it in to where now I'm doing not just 2 deals a month per quarter. I'm doing uh, 4 to 6 deals a month.
Right. And
You
that's
know,
what we're going to talk about. I think we're going to be talking next week about streamlining the business so you can do more volume.
right. So right now I kind of say I'm still in the learning training phase of how to get the systems dialed in to where it's congruent. You know.
I know you're doing a lot of wholesaling. Do you see yourself getting back more into the rehabbing?
Um, what I never really wanted to be a big rehabber, but I just like the fact that I can pick and choose
Gotcha.
what I want to rehab when it makes sense. When the spreads are there, then I will definitely rehab. But I'm definitely not one of those. Oh, I got to rehab every deal I get. No way, because sometimes you wait 6 months to make the same amount of money you was gonna make if you were to wholesale the deal. And sometimes it's longer than that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I've been on that end. I've had a deal like that, or two, where I thought I was gonna make. The prophet said, you look like you're gonna walk away with 65,000. Was all said and done, I made 20,000 less, but still, it was just the point of man, that was 9 months. You
Right.
know, when I could have just wholesale that for like 25. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And I would have been able to. I could have did like 2 or 3 more deals. You know what I'm saying? So, I just pick and choose, man. It's time versus money when it comes to that,
Okay.
and that's what I, you know. But when the spreads are there, then of course, I will. If there's $100,000 spread there or $80,000 spread in rehabbing wise, even if I only walk away with half of that, it still made sense because what I mean, the spread was there even with the hard, the private or the hard money that was there. So, um, you know,
Last but not least, what do you recommend to somebody who's in the beginning stage and they want to know what should they be doing right now to really be successful in this business? What kind of advice would you give those new investors out there that's looking at this broadcast?
Seek less information, take more action, definitely take action and stop asking so many questions. Stop questioning everything because a lot of times when you do this business and you begin to do like you're supposed to, with what you already have as far as the layout, a lot of your questions will get answered in itself. You know what I mean? You'll get a couple small ones, but you'll be able to understand why you're doing X. You won't have so many questions of what if this happened? What do I do when I get this? You worried about a closing and you don't even have a contract yet. Just trust the process, believe in yourself. Definitely don't give up because it's gonna be trial and tribulations. There's been plenty of times where I get frustrated and I say I'm not doing nothing this week, and then by Monday I'm right back at it come Monday. Because of frustration. But um, just understand that even though it seems like you're not getting anywhere, you're that much closer to your deal, whether it be your first deal or your next deal. You know, those are just the roadblocks that you got to get over in order to get to your next deal or to that first deal. So definitely keep your head up. You know, don't quit, but definitely take action. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and like I always tell people too, I was doing three things at one time. I was coaching baseball, working full time, and then doing real estate part time. So in between having to pick my son up, let him come home, do his homework, cook dinner for him before we hit the field for practice or a game, that just had to be done. I went on appointments on our way to practice or to a game.
Gotcha.
It just I was just that determined to make it.
Understood, man. Understood, man. I want to personally thank you for being on this broadcast. Being in the mastermind program has been a blessing to work with you personally. So I know you are one of those persons out there that is, no matter what it takes, you're going to get your ass up every morning and do everything you need to do to be successful. And for that,
Yes,
my
sir. I
friend,
wouldn't have it any other way, Charles.
and for that, my friend, I salute you. For all of you guys who are
Thank
listening
you.
to
Thank you.
Duru interviews, thank you guys very much. We just had my good friend and good mentoring student, my good man, Malik Jenkins, on the broadcast. Take care, guys, and we'll see you on the next episode of Duru Interviews. Bye bye.